Good afternoon.
On your screen is a live view of our Fusion to launch vehicle awaiting its inaugural launch from the National Space Center Pad 01A.
If everything goes well today, we hope to see a liftoff of Fusion 2 in just under 10 minutes from now.
We are extremely excited to be joining you from Mission Control at the Drew Space Center. Fusion 2 is currently the largest and most powerful rocket ever built in the universe and will be capable of putting up to 50 tons to low Drew orbit in its final form. What makes this even more incredible is that we will land and reuse our first stage boosters over 10 times each. Now, while today's mission is just a test flight and we don't have a customer payload on board, we do have our own special payload on the vehicle. The Fusion Space Time capsule is a special monument to Fusion Space and our new partner, SpoopX. The Pentagon is the original payload which was meant to fly on Fusion 1 last year, and the teddy bear is to celebrate a deal with SpoopX to begin routine missions to the lunar surface. The capsule is designed for deep space travel, and we hope to send it to Cylero. Also on board is 12 CubeSats, which will be deployed at around the halfway mark on the journey to Cylero. These will study the environment around them, and later on into the mission, it will observe Cylero's moons Niobe and Herma. Today's mission has a lot of events which will take place, so let's take a look at them in more detail.
In just under 9 minutes, we hope to see the ignition of all 14 earless engines on the first stage. After ignition, the vehicle will sit on the pad for 3 seconds to make sure everything is working as intended. Once the flight computer verifies everything is ready to go, the hold-down clamps will release and we'll see the vehicle lift off. At around the 15-second mark, the vehicle will start to pitch downrange. This is because rockets need horizontal velocity to actually achieve orbit. At the 1-minute mark, we'll hear the call out for max Q or maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is where the vehicle is experiencing peak mechanical stress, and we'll throttle the engines down slightly to minimize the forces on the rocket. At the 2.5-minute mark, we should see all of the first stage engines shut down in preparation for stage separation. After both stages separate, the booster will ignite 6 engines and boost itself back for a landing in the ocean. And the second stage will light its 2 engines and head to space. The reason the booster will be landing in the ocean instead of back at the pad is because we want to test our systems in an area which is not at risk of getting damaged. Safety is our highest priority during a test flight. Just shy of entering space, the second stage fairings will be separated. This will expose our payloads to the environment. In future, we hope to begin recovering fairings for reuse. After burning for a few minutes, the second stage will shut off its engines and begin a very short coast phase. We could get to orbit in 1 burn,
but we'd like to take the opportunity to test a relight in space and test the accuracy of our guidance systems. After this coast phase, the vehicle will insert itself into a 100-kilometer orbit, and we'll decide what our next steps are. Hopefully, the next step is Cylero. We are currently at the 6.5-minute mark. The vehicle is still loading propellant on both stages and is nearing completion, and the teams at Mission Control are tracking no issues that will prevent a launch. We hope to wrap up propellant loading on the second stage at the 3-minute mark and the booster propellant loading at the 1.5-minute mark.
Stage to propellant loading complete.
Alright, as you heard there, the propellant loading on stage 2 is complete. After the booster completes its propellant, loading the fuel lines will be purged, which you should see at the base of the tower structure.
Teams will also begin final checks at this time. If needed, we do have a hold gate at the T-30-second mark, but it does look like we shouldn't need to hold today.
Booster propellant loading complete.
Okay, you can see that vent there.
That is a great sign.
We'll listen in now to see if the teams are going to need that hold.
T-minus 1 minute.
We can confirm teams won't be needing that hold.
We are go for launch and are expecting an on-time liftoff.
T-minus 30 seconds, proceed past optional hold. "15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, ignition. We have liftoff. Vehicle has cleared the pad and is pitching downrange. ELS chamber pressure is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into the flight of Fusion 2. Everything is looking great so far.
The next event is Max Q,
Acquisition of Signal Fusion Site 6.
the world's most powerful rocket, is in the sky for the first time.
Booster power and telemetry is nominal. Stage to engine is chilling.
You can hear that our second stage engines are beginning to chill down for ignition. This is so our engines don't experience thermal shock.
Max Q.
Fusion 2 has successfully passed through the area of greatest stress.
The next event in just under 80 seconds will be stage separation.
All 14 earless engines will shut down and the clamps holding both stages will release. 2 pushers will push the stages apart, and the second stage engines will ignite to put us on path to orbit.
Acquisition of Signal Site 1.
And there are some views from our cameras on board Fusion 2. What an amazing sight as we near staging.
Booster engine cutoff. Stage separation. Second stage ignition.
Boost back startup.
Okay, we just saw multiple successful events take place there.
The second stage has
Acquisition of
successfully
Signal
lit up
Site
both
2.
engines, and our booster is now on its way to the splashdown
Stage to
site.
chamber pressure nominal. Stage to power and telemetry nominal.
All good call outs so far.
For the second stage,
The booster does appear to be spinning out of control, but that's
Booster
okay.
L
The booster
O S.
splashdown was a secondary objective for today's flight.
We should see the fairings separate in 20 seconds from now.
Fairing separation.
And there is a look at our time capsule as it enters space.
Stage to power and telemetry continues to look good.
This has been a very successful day so far. We can see the second stage on path for orbit, and all call-outs continue to be nominal.
Acquisition of signal desert facility.
Chamber pressure continues to look nominal. Seco.
Nominal parking orbit.
Amazing news there.
We are going to enter a short 2-minute coast phase right now.
We heard that the parking orbit is nominal, so we are on track for an engine relight test, which will put the vehicle into a proper orbit.
Acquisition of signal pull base.
Okay, we are coming up on that relight in just a few seconds from now.
Let's see if that works out.
Second stage ignition. Seco.
Nominal orbital insertion.
Okay, you heard it there, everyone.
We are in orbit. Fusion 2 has successfully completed the primary mission for today.
Teams will now begin to analyze the data to determine if the vehicle will burn for Cylero.
If the teams decide to go ahead with it, then this burn will take place in around 24 hours.
And now for one last event. In a few seconds, we should see the time capsule open up its little doors and unveil Barnaby the teddy bear and our Pentagon.
And there they are. That will bring our webcast to a close for today. We would like to congratulate the teams on the success of today's mission and thank you all for tuning into the webcast.
We hope to see you for the next launch, which should happen sometime next month. See you next time and have a great day wherever you are on the planet.